what you think have been your views on how apprenticeship regime has changed and transformed since 2014. 2014 is essentially when the last set of reform and amendments around apprenticeship system happened in India. Have you seen any change? I mean, you've spent a lot of years in this industry. Have you seen a before after?
At the beginning of my career, I got introduced to, okay, this is how apprenticeship works. And the way we were diligent about apprenticeship, their classes are happening and they're working on the floor. And that was something which was institutionalization of apprenticeship, that you want people to work on certain trades and they have applicability, they are enhancing their skill set, they go through their examination and do NCVT. So all that was there. Inspections used to happen. I have been part of those inspections. Over the years, how I have seen this entire thing growing was, like in 2014, if you talk about, there were a lot of changes which were brought by government. Earlier, you cannot bring interstate candidates for this. That was one of the hassles which was there, which was eased out. Most important thing, a penal provision was there that if you don't comply to certain guidelines, then there are certain penalties, and so those penalties were taken off from the employers so that you don't hesitate to get into this engagement mode of apprentices. Another important piece was that earlier when you had to give leaves or holidays to apprentices, you had to take permission from somebody who will tell you whether you can give leave. So all these things have been given to employers so that it becomes easier for you to administer the whole piece. Government created a provision that if you are a small employer, then say 8-10 employers come together and they can also run a scheme, or they can appoint somebody who can actually coordinate the entire apprenticeship program for you. And look, one aspect is that what is that government is doing as policy making. Another aspect is how the society has changed. So earlier, the capacity which we were talking about was that we should have 2 lakh apprentices, and there was a cap on that. That cap was removed, that now we can have say 20 lakh apprentices. And I thought that we will have 20 lakh apprentices. But unfortunately, if you look at the number, from 2 lakh, we have come to 3 lakh, or if you combine all kinds of apprenticeships, we come to a number of 8 lakhs. And you compare it with, say, countries like China. Chalo, China is a big country, has more population, but you compare it with country like Japan. They offer 1 crore of apprenticeships. Where are we? Means even after the policy change, what has happened is people still have that same image that, okay, apprenticeship means all these problems are going to be there.
Right.
That awareness is something which is missing, and through which, look, if we have to compete in a global economy, we have to make sure that apprenticeship system works, and it doesn't work just by government.
Also, to my approach and answer could be slightly biased, because I am also the chairman of Board of Apprentice for Western Region.
Okay.
Right. So I would always talk for pro, right? So being on the side of implementation of the policy. So first and foremost, apart from what Jeet has said, that a lot has been done, but I personally feel, because I am also an implementer and an agency which uses the apprenticeship, still there is a quote unquote view about apprentice in the society. Whether it is student, whether it is company or the society, we look apprentice from a different angle. So first and foremost, let me look at the student part. And to narrow down our conversation, let's look at the engineer graduates. right? On one side, we say we don't find, engineers don't find jobs. And the other side, if you ask any company, that is an equally Herculean task to find an apprentice. And the reason is still in the institutes, it is an image that only people who do not find a campus placement go for apprentice. So student as a first go don't want to go for an apprentice. And the companies also have 3 layers of onboarding engineers. They have their leadership programs, they have their trainee programs, and the third program is apprentice program, right? All passed out from the same batch, different colleges, but are put at different levels of importance in the organization. So same is the case with the parents. Parents also are hesitant to tell someone that my son or daughter is an apprentice in a company. They are more happy to say that they are on the roles of the company. So there is a huge change needed, that apprenticeship helps people to cross that bridge from unemployment to employment, from campus to industry, rather than looking at as a via media for not having a job. And as far as what has changed 2014 onwards, a lot has changed. A lot in the sense, a real ease of engaging apprentice. Everything has become online. The penalties, the fear of penalty has gone. And most importantly, earlier, there was a strict mandate that you have to hire X percentage. Now it's moved up to 15%. If an industry really wants to leverage, there is a huge opportunity. And I have large examples where the boards have gone, even if in a particular industry wants more than 15%, they've been flexible, provided you establish that you have a very good training facility and you are using this to train genuinely rather than using it as an alternate employment source. So there were examples where companies have got more than 15% approval to engage. So it's becoming more industry friendly, more online, more prompt in reimbursing the stipends, transparency, etc. I think on the system side, a lot of change, but especially on the mindset and on the acceptance side, a lot of work to be done as far as the apprenticeship is concerned.